Hello, and welcome to Black History Alive. My name is Donna Jackson of Donna Jackson LLC and donnajackson.biz. Today, I would like to bring you a slice of Black history important to me. So let's get started. I will be talking about the movies. These movies especially touched my heart. These are my favorite Black movies. There are, of course, too many to mention, but I have selected 10 with 2 honorable mentions. These movies starred wonderful actors and told beautiful stories. I hope you enjoy it. Today, of course, I will be talking about movies and Black culture. The movies often depicted the realities of Black life in America, and that's what made them so appealing. These movies also were trend-setting, so there were many aspects of the way that they dressed, the way that they acted, the cars that they drove. Everything was trend-setting, and so a lot of times the movies would come out, and very soon thereafter, you would start to see some of the costumes depicted in regular everyday fashion. It was really interesting. And also, these movies disseminated Black culture worldwide. And so, it's something to be proud of, something I'm proud of, and I hope you are too. Let's get started. Today, I will begin with the movie Superfly. Superfly was, of course, produced and released in 1972, starring Ron O'Neal and Sheila Frazier. The producer was Sid Shore, and it grossed, to this date, $24 million in total. It's the story of a man of the streets who was doing everything he could to come out of the streets. Superfly was directed by Gordon Parks Jr. and Ron O'Neal was born in Utica, New York, and Sheila Frazier was born in New York, New York. This trend-setting movie actually was duplicated and replicated in cities all across America, from the clothing to the cars to the way that they acted. Just very, very important movie about street life and about trying to get over. The next movie, of course, is Claudine, which was produced by Hannah Weinstein and directed by John Barry. Claudine starred Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones. It is the story of a mother of 6 who was trying to facilitate a romance with a wonderful gentleman, and they had some turbulent times, but it turned out to be a very good, heartfelt movie about Black life in America. This wonderful movie has grossed $6 million. It stars, of course, Diane Carroll, who was born in Bronx, New York, and James Earl Jones, who was born in Arcabutla, Mississippi. These 2 wonderful performers made us believe that they really fell in love. Let's keep the list growing. The year was 1975, and the movie was Mahogany, starring Diana Ross and Billy Dee Williams. Mahogany was produced by Jack Ballard and Rob Cohen and directed by Berry Gordy. Mahogany grossed $5 million. It's the story of Tracy Chambers, who wanted to be a fashion designer, became a model, and looked all around the world for love. chemistry between Billy D. Williams and Diana Ross on this movie was just electrifying. Diana Ross was born in Detroit, Michigan, and Billy D. Williams was born in New York, New York. Did they find love? You'll have to watch it and see. It's a memorable movie, and it taught me a lot about being creative, being bold, and being fearless. I just love this movie so much. Hope you do too. Now the year is 1978. Diana Ross and Michael Jackson starred in The Wiz. The Wiz was produced by Rob Cohen and directed by Sidney Lumet. The Wiz is a take on the famous 1939 classic The Wizard of Oz, but it's set with an all-black cast. The movie was, of course, the music was produced, of course, by Quincy Jones, the famous Quincy Jones. Wonderful dance routines, wonderful songs, and an all-star ensemble cast. What a wonderful movie The Wiz was. I hope you get a chance to see it very soon. The movie The Wiz was a very exciting movie, and it of course has grossed to date $21 million at the box office. It stars Diana Ross, who was born in Detroit, Michigan, as Dorothy, Michael Jackson, who was born in Gary, Indiana, as the Scarecrow, Nipsey Russell, who was born in Atlanta, Georgia, as the Tin Man, and Ted Ross, who was born in Zanesville, Ohio, as the Lion. It is a depiction of the 1939 classic The Wizard of Oz with an all-black cast. What a wonderful, fanciful, brilliant movie. I hope you get a chance to see The Wiz very soon. The year is 1985, and the movie is The Color Purple, produced by Frank Marshall, Kathleen Kennedy, Steven Spielberg, and Quincy Jones. This movie was also directed by Steven Spielberg. To date, The Color Purple has grossed $142 million. It starred Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover. It's the story of a woman who was dealing with a really abusive relationship and the loss of her children. I invite you to watch The Color Purple, and we can find out what happens to her and her family. The Color Purple was full of memorable songs and fabulous actors. Whoopi Goldberg was born in New York, New York, and Danny Glover was born in San Francisco, California. It also starred Oprah Winfrey, and she was born in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, along with many other very talented cast members. This movie was groundbreaking, and it was extremely very special to me, and I've watched it so many times, I remember many of the lines from the movie. I hope you get a chance to see The Color Purple. It is a classic. Let's keep going. The year is 1991, and the movie is Boys in the Hood, starring Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Morris Chestnut. This is a coming-of-age movie, and that's why it's included on the list. This movie tells of the struggle of trying to overcome the pull of the ghetto and trying to aspire to move beyond its grips. To date, it has grossed $57 million. It was produced by Stephen Nicolaides and directed by John Singleton. We should all be proud of these very talented actors. Ice Cube, of course, was born in Crenshaw, California. Morris Chestnut was born in Cerritos, California. And Cuba Gooding Jr. was born in the Bronx, New York. What a interesting story please check out Boys in the Hood as soon as possible if you have never seen this wonderful movie about Black life in America. The year is 1992, and the movie is Malcolm X. This movie was so groundbreaking because it was the first time I had the opportunity to really understand the man who was Malcolm X. I had never really known a whole lot about him, but I was so glad that this movie was made. The movie to date has grossed $73 million. It was produced by Marvin Worth and Spike Lee, and of course directed by Spike Lee as well. It starred Denzel Washington and Angela Bassett. The movie Malcolm X depicts the life of the man Malcolm X, and in the movie, Angela Bassett starred as Betty Shabazz, Malcolm X's wife. Angela Bassett was born in New York, New York, and Denzel Washington was born in Mount Vernon, New York. What an interesting story. It's a very powerful story about a man who had to face many things in his life. Please watch Malcolm X if you haven't already done so. It will make you feel very proud to be a Black American. Let's keep going. The year is 1993, and the movie is What's Love Got to Do with It? It is the story of the life of Tina Turner, adapted from the book I, Tina, written by Kurt Loder. The movie What's Love Got to Do with It was produced by Doug Chapin and Barry Crost, also directed by Brian Gibson. To date, this movie has grossed $61 million. It stars Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne. Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne were absolutely electrifying in their performances. The story is tragic yet triumphant. Angela Bassett was born in New York, New York, and Lawrence Fishburne was born in Augusta, Georgia. One of my very favorite movies, an electrifying performance with a wonderful ensemble cast. Shout out to Michael Peters, who was the choreographer in the movie. He is no longer with us, but he was very instrumental in putting together those wonderful dance numbers that you'll see in the movie. Please watch What's Love Got to Do with It, one of my very favorite movies that tells the story of triumph over tragedy. In 1995, Terry McMillan and Ronald Bass produced Waiting to Exhale, a movie adapted from a book by Terry McMillan. The movie was directed by Forrest Whitaker and starred Whitney Houston and Angela Bassett. To date, Waiting to Exhale has grossed $82 million. This movie was about four women who were good friends, who were each going through different things in their love lives. What a wonderful feel-good movie with an outstanding ensemble cast. Waiting to Exhale starred Whitney Houston, who was born in Newark, New Jersey, Angela Bassett, who was born in New York, New York, Leela Rashawn, who was born in Los Angeles, California, and Loretta Devine, who was born in Houston, Texas. What a feel-good movie. I hope you have the opportunity to enjoy Waiting to Exhale, a movie that really highlighted the beauty, the boldness, and the sensitivity of intelligent, triumphant Black women. My last movie on my list of 10 best Black movies is Soul Food. It was, of course, produced by Kenneth Babyface Edmonds, Tracy Edmonds, Michael McQuarrie, Robert Teitel, and Llewellyn Wells. It was also directed by Gary Tillman Jr. To date, Soul Food has grossed $43 million, and it starred Vanessa L. Williams, Vivica Fox, and Nia Long. This is the story of family, and every piece and every frame of this movie made you feel invited and welcomed into their wonderful family as they went through triumph, tragedy, and triumph once again. Soul Food was packed with a lot of very, very interesting twists and turns to the plot. I hope you get a chance to watch it. It stars, once again, Vanessa L. Williams, who was born in Bronx, New York, Vivica A. Fox, who was born in South Bend, Indiana, and Nia Long, who was born in Brooklyn, New York. To bring out an honorable mention list. My honorable mentions are The Best Man and Lady Sings the Blues. There are many, many other movies that I can think of that I could have added to the list, but I don't think we have enough time. So after you get done watching this video, if you would like to leave a comment, please do so and extend the list, because these movies, especially The Best Man, had a wonderful ensemble cast, and it was just a nice romantic comedy featuring an all-black cast. Also, Lady Sings the Blues was a story of the life of Billie Holiday, and it was a very gripping story. And I wish that I could have included more movies, but time just does not permit. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation today. My name is Donna Jackson, and I am the author of a book called Race, Poverty, and Progress, American Paradox, which is my tribute to Black life in America. I also produce a series called Sentiments, and also I am in the process of producing a documentary based on the book Race, Poverty, and Progress, an American Paradox. This concludes this episode of Black History Alive, the movies. Thank you for watching. For more information about me or any of my projects, go to www.donnajackson.biz. And stay tuned for another episode of Black History Alive. Bye-bye.